Okay, so how many of us, so your job is so boring. Learning anything new is no longer fun anymore. You haven't dated anyone since what seems like a decade now. And every new day is like the previous day. It's like same old, same old, same old. How many of us were or are in this kind of phase in their lives? Well, I was. Good evening, Toastmasters and fellow guests. Well, if I just describe your life, or even if I didn't, then listen carefully. Because what I'm going to share with you today is really going to help you in your life as you move forward. I'm going to share with you my hack, the 3 values that I value the most, and the values which I live by, which I abide by, which I honor. So, to begin with the first value, consider this situation. Your mother wakes up early, makes some food for you, tells you to have it on time, and maybe even asks you when you will be returning home. Now, all these questions, along with the mental pressure of your work, just really irritate you and messes up inside your head, and you just take away the tiffin and run away from your home without acknowledging her. So what this does is it puts your mother in a bad state of mind. Now, later on in the day, when she'll meet a vegetable vendor, she'll vent out this frustration on that vegetable vendor. And that vegetable vendor, when he'll return home, he'll vent out that frustration on his wife or on his children. So do you realize what you did over here? You initiated a chain reaction of negativity. And that was because you didn't appreciate a single gesture that your mother makes every day. Okay, now consider the situation in a different perspective, So you thank your mother for the tiffin she made, and when you have it in your office, you may even call her and tell her how delicious it was, even if it wasn't. And now what this simple thing will do is that it will put her in a very good state of mind. She'll become happy. And later in the day, that vegetable vendor may even get some extra money because of her good mood. And that vegetable vendor will return happily and joyfully to his home, and everything will be happy. So in this case, you initiated a chain reaction of positivity. You made everyone happy just by appreciating one person. And that is the first value, my friends, appreciation. Appreciating people can pay dividends. Saying a simple thank you to a waiter can encourage him and fill your soul with happiness. So that is the first value. And your actions affect everyone, indirectly or directly. You may not realize it, but you should start realizing it. Moving on to the second value. Once, Buddha was sitting under a tree and a man came and spat on his face. Now the Buddha wiped the spit off his face and asked the man, "What next? What do you want to tell me next?" Now the man was amused. He had annoyed and amused a lot of people, but never had he got such a reaction. Everyone had a violent reaction, but Buddha was very calm. And so it messed up his head. He went home, had a completely sleepless night, and he realized his mistake. So next day, he went to the Buddha and fell on his feet and said, "Please, Buddha, forgive me for what I did yesterday. I'm so sorry." Now listen carefully to what the Buddha said. The Buddha said, "Forgive you? Forgive you for what? I'm not the same man that was here yesterday. A lot has happened in the last 24 hours. The river Ganga keeps on flowing, and it is not the same Ganga again, is it? Similarly, a man is also like a river. And this river has also flown. So I cannot forgive you because I don't have any grudge against you, as I've changed, and so have you." Now, what we need to take away from the story, my friends, is that the purpose of forgiveness is not to free the sinner of his mistakes. It is to free yourself from the pain and anger that you're feeling over here. This pain and anger keeps you stuck at this position. So the second value is be forgiving. When you forgive someone, you have the ability to move forward in your life with a clear mind. That is the second value, forgiveness. Moving on to the third and the final value. Well, when I was 6 or 7 years old, my father used to give me this big goodbye hug when he used to go to his office. So one day he was getting late for this particular meeting that he had prepared so hard for, and he just rushed away. When I realized that he was no longer there in the house, I immediately called him up and said, Dad, you forgot to give me a goodbye hug." To which he replied, "I'm so sorry, son. I'll give it to you once I come back." I was very sad, but reluctantly I told him it's gonna be okay. You're gonna do well in the meeting, and I'll see you in the evening. And I put the phone down and reluctantly started to eat my cereal. Guess what, guys? After 10 minutes, there was a knock on the door, and it was my dad. He came and gave me a big hug and went away to his meeting. Now, what I learned, and even after 15 years, his co-workers may not even remember that he was late for a meeting, but I, his son, remembers that my dad came back and gave me a hug. And it meant the world to me back then, and it still means the world to me right now. And that is when I realized the third value, that is caring. Caring for people is always good to do. When you care for someone, you show them that there are still good people left in this world, and a world full of good people never hurts anyone and never will. So these are the three values, or rather I might call them A, B, C's. Now along with these, we may have a lot more values inside us, which we may not even realize. And what's important to do is to acknowledge and realize these values. And when you do that, your stress levels will reduce and your productivity will increase many folds. That is what we all need to recognize our values. So, I hope that when you leave this building today, you'll start with the ABCs. That is, you appreciate someone or something or some people, like me for my speech or something. You'll forgive people. You'll be forgiving. The B. As in, if you have a grudge against someone since long, then maybe you go ahead and forgive them today and let them move on, and so will you. And C. Always care for people. Show them that you care. Because in return of care,